My name is Sally, and I'm a Canadian. I'm a Canadian born Chinese. I want to tell you very quickly my experience with actually seeing Jesus physically. This was over 30 years ago in my early 30s, and I had just become a Christian. And this happened at the supermarket where I was working as a part-time cashier. And I can remember how I was feeling, very depressed. I was working at the cash and everything was very automatic for me because I was quite experienced as a part-time cashier. And I was very depressed. In my mind, I would just go over and over thinking about everything that was depressing me. And all of a sudden, I look up at the customer that was going through my till, my cash, and there was a man, a handsome man. And when I looked back at him, I had to look back at him. I knew he was Jesus. When I looked at him, he looked back at me and he held his gaze on me. And I just could not tear away from his gaze. And it was as if he was looking at me for at least 10 minutes. There were no words, but everything that Jesus had to say to me at that moment was in that look, in the way that he held his gaze. He looked right through me like he knew me, and he loved every bit of me. Now, I wouldn't be able to say that that's the way I felt about myself, but the way that Jesus was looking at me, I just knew that he just loved me in the past, in the present, and in the future. And I was just his delight. I was just the love of his life. And he admired me. I could tell that he thought I was so wonderful. Of course, this was all in the look. And that's my testimony of how I physically saw Jesus. And I was a young Christian at the time, and I was almost breaking out in a sweat because I could tell that he admired me, but I don't think I could live up to his admiration because I knew who I was, and I didn't even love myself. But Jesus loved me, and this is the way that I understand that he loves his children. Now, the other thing that I want to say is that, again, there were no words, and I knew it was Jesus because the way he looked at me, and he would not let me take my eyes off of him because he would not take his eyes off of me. And it did seem like about 10 minutes that he was looking at me. Now, after this, he walked away. I can't remember what he bought. It was maybe one item. But for some reason, I felt like I felt ashamed because I felt I was at work, and I don't know how long I was standing there watching him, looking at him looking back at me, and when he finally walked away, there was nobody around, and I just turned around to see him walk out, and there was nobody. So to me, This, what I saw was real. I actually saw Jesus physically, and he's very handsome. He was very young. I was 30 at the time, so to me he looked younger than 30. And that was my experience as a young Christian, and that set the tone for my walk with Jesus ever since, and he's never let me go. Thank you for listening.